Episode 3, A Crisis of Midlife Crises. This past week, I found myself so exhausted from work, I spent the evenings downing Haagen-Dazs ice cream from the container while watching Madam's Secretary. It's actually possible I did that more than once in the same week. I had grander intentions, of course. Go to this gathering, see that show, hang out with that friend I haven't seen in a while, write something, read something, finally finish a Wordle, cook, think, make myself a better person. But those well-intentioned ambitions fell face first into a pint of Belgian chocolate chip ice cream, as they often do. My initial response to this is guilt. I can do better. I should do better. Then I find myself scrolling through Instagram reels, being enabled by people who I assume are also sitting on a couch somewhere eating ice cream on a Wednesday night in their early 40s. We all know the memes and reels I'm talking about here, swinging from the cheeky, I didn't have energy to get up this morning, so I called in dead to work, to the very soothing and comforting, hey, life is hard, you're doing your best, don't get down on yourself, doing nothing is okay. But it's not okay, is it? Not all the time, anyway. I mean, sure, on some level, I have the right to live my life however I choose, but I don't really choose this. It chooses me. Yeah, at some point in my 30s, chasing the big salary and the shiny job, I landed in a tar pit of exhaustion. The more I struggled to get out, the more exhausted I became. And now, in my 40s, work eats everything. Well, almost everything. And when you take a step back, this looks eerily like a midlife crisis. And here's the interesting thing about that. Decades past, 40-somethings would have done, something extreme to break out of the mold, to escape the rut and routine. Buy a fancy car. Cliché, I know, but it does happen. Quit that soul-sucking job, move to Europe, become a freewheeling hippie. There were, of course, different brands of the classic crisis, but they were all a pendulum swing away from the status quo, an effort at feeling again, at being inspired again, at finding something like meaning in an otherwise humdrum existence. My generation? Well, we seem to be managing, or not managing, this crisis thing a little differently. And yes, I'm putting myself up as the poster child of older millennials suffering from midlife crises. Look, it's not that I don't have the urge to charter a yacht and sail away to the Greek Isles in one of those impossibly white fabric t-shirts and white pants and white loafers like my childhood hero Yanni. That sounds delightful. But there's something that tugs me back. Every time I think of upsetting the status quo in a vaguely radical way, my adult brain overrules me. Think about the consequences, not just to you, but to those around you, friends, family, dog. And then there's the grass is always greener nag, ever on my shoulder. It only seems like it looks better if you rebel. At best, it's the same. Move to Europe? Nah, too fickle. And they have problems too, right? What was that I read about a rise in Nazi-esque nationalism? And how in the heck can I get a job if I don't speak the language fluently? Buy a house? No, too expensive. And then I'm locked in. And what if life throws me a curveball and I need out? Too big a commitment. Upgrade my car? Jeff, you just want the gadgets. You'd hardly drive it. You don't drive your car now. Why get another one and waste the money? Date more than one guy at once? Oh my God, are you kidding? You can barely find matching socks in the morning. That sounds both stressful and stupid. And so, instead of acting out in my early 40s, brazenly shirking responsibility and doing something wholly reckless to reset, I switch positions on the couch. I change my ice cream flavor. I watch a different political drama. Now, to be fair to myself, I'm not sure if any of this is inherently good or bad, but the one thing that concerns me is this. Whatever pent-up frustrations, desires, yearnings, angst, ire is let free when you dive headlong into a midlife crisis, I'm not experiencing. I mean, at best, I'm giving it a squeaky voice that seems to persist, eking out a cry for help between spoonfuls of ice cream. And the nag on my shoulder even has the gall to suggest the even-keel approach to midlife is good for me. Builds character, I hear him say. But honestly, how much character can I build? How much good can I do sitting on a couch with my long-suffering dog Monday through Friday, 5 p.m., until exhaustion has its way with me and another empty day ends?